Honey bees, the tiny heroes of nature. Part 1, The Life of a Honey Bee. Honey bees are small insects with a big job. They live in large colonies, usually inside beehives, which can be in the wild or man-made by beekeepers. A typical bee colony consists of 3 types of bees: the queen, the workers, and the drones. The queen is the largest bee in the hive, and she has a very important role: to lay eggs and grow the colony. A healthy queen can lay up to 2,000 eggs per day. The worker bees are all female and have different duties such as collecting nectar and pollen, feeding the larvae, making honey, and protecting the hive. The drones are the male bees whose main job is to mate with the queen. Part 2, The Anatomy of a Bee. Let's take a closer look at the honey bee's body. Like ants, honey bees have 3 main body parts: the head, thorax, and abdomen. On their head, they have 2 large compound eyes that help them see, and 2 antennae that they use to smell and touch. The thorax is where the wings and legs are attached. Bees have 4 wings that allow them to fly swiftly from flower to flower. They also have tiny hairs on their legs and body that help them collect pollen. The abdomen houses the honey stomach, where nectar is stored, and the famous stinger, which they use for defense. Part 3, The Amazing Work of Bees. Honey bees are famous for their work ethic. A single bee can visit up to 5,000 flowers in one day, collecting nectar and pollen. The nectar is stored in their honey stomach and later turned into honey back at the hive. Pollen, which sticks to their hairy bodies, is also collected and brought back to the hive. This pollen is used as a protein source for feeding young bees. The process of making honey is fascinating. After returning to the hive, worker bees pass the nectar to other bees, who chew it to break down the sugars. It is then stored in honeycomb cells, where it gradually becomes honey. Bees fan the honey with their wings to remove excess moisture, making it thick and perfect for storage. Part 4, The Role of Bees in Pollination. One of the most important jobs of honey bees is pollination. As bees move from flower to flower collecting nectar, they transfer pollen between the flowers, helping plants reproduce. This process is vital for many fruits, vegetables, and nuts that we eat every day. Without bees, many crops would struggle to grow. Apples, almonds, blueberries, and even coffee plants rely on bees for pollination. In fact, about 1/3 of the food we eat depends on pollinators like bees. This makes honey bees not just important but essential to our global food supply. Part 5, Honey bees and their hive. A beehive is like a buzzing city with different rooms and roles. Inside the hive, there are hexagonal wax cells called honeycombs, which are used to store honey, pollen, and bee eggs. The perfect hexagon shape allows for the most efficient use of space and storage. Worker bees also have the job of keeping the hive clean and maintaining the temperature. During cold weather, bees cluster together and vibrate their wings to generate heat, keeping the hive warm. In hot weather, they fan their wings to cool it down. This temperature control is crucial for the survival of the colony. Part 6, The Threats to Honey Bees. Despite their importance, honey bees face many threats today. Pesticides, habitat loss, climate change, and diseases have led to a decline in bee populations worldwide. One of the biggest threats is the Varroa mite, a parasite that attacks bees and weakens colonies. Bee conservation is more important than ever. Beekeepers, scientists, and environmentalists are working hard to protect bees by creating safe habitats, planting more flowers, and reducing the use of harmful chemicals. By supporting these efforts, we can help ensure a future for honey bees. Part 7, How we can help bees. There are simple ways you can help honey bees, even from your own home. Planting bee-friendly flowers in your garden or on your balcony provides bees with much-needed food sources. Avoid using pesticides that can harm bees and choose organic options instead. Supporting local beekeepers by buying honey and bee products helps sustain the beekeeping industry and protects local bee populations. Every small action counts and makes a big difference for these tiny heroes. Honey bees are incredible creatures that do so much for us and our environment. From making honey to pollinating the plants that feed us, bees are essential to life on Earth. By learning more about them and taking steps to protect them, we can help ensure these tiny heroes continue to thrive.